Hello everybody, this is Heflamoke again. I'm sitting here with Gaara. It's a pretty late interview. We're already on Sunday here of the DreamHack Bucharest, but nevertheless we just caught him here in the VIP lounge, and of course Nitro had some questions. Again, thanks for preparing them. I'm gonna read some of them obviously from the laptop, but Gaara, well, he has a very vital opinion about most of those questions, so I think we can get a good discussion now. Bucharest is not unknown to you. Bucharest is something you have been here before, you actually were successful, so you returned to Bucharest. So let's just go back in time on Friday. Like, how did you go into this tournament here?
I prepared actually for this tournament more than for any other tournaments, just because Bucharest is so special to me. I was the first DreamHack champion in Hearthstone, and I got also to finals the second time. So I have like really good success in Bucharest. So I prepared a lot, and yeah, that's how I went into this tournament.
And Nitro actually wanted to ask, like, if you go for your revenge against Thais, but that's obviously not the case anymore. Round one was unfortunately already the end station for you, so kind of disappointment compared to the other events. But you still enjoy the stay here. And what was the reason? Like, the group stage was okay, but then in round one against Lota.
Yeah, the format is again a completely new format. It is a crazy format because every player is allowed to change decks after every game. So people always like counter decks players, and the people who came, as you saw, like 6 out of the 8 invited players got kicked out in the first round, just because the other people, I feel like they were like more warmed up with the format. Like they were into the players who came from the group stages. They were into this counter decking new players with decks. They're switching decks after each round, and the invited players were not prepared for that. Only Kolento and Firebet moved on from the invited players, but Kolento also now lost to Stansivska, who came from the group stages. So it will be if Firebet loses, it will be an all um, open bracket finals. So this is pretty crazy.
Talking about invites and qualifiers, yesterday we had an interview with Lothar and Tyson. Actually asked both of them about like the new format coming, because some tournament, at least one we know of, DreamHack Summer, is gonna swap to no invite format. So now that you said, like, for example, 6 out of 8 players being dropped, do you think maybe the qualifier or only qualifier format is the way to go?
I don't know. Like this is a big problem because the two main reasons are like the established because Hearthstone is such an RNG game, and luck is a really huge factor in this game. It is very difficult to be consistent, like in short term, like in tournaments. It's very likely that you just lose like a event because of bad RNG, and also like the established pros. This is like the people, the viewers want to see in the events. That's why they do the invites, because people want to see the pro players play in this game.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a good solution to make. I really understand why you have invites to those big tournaments in Hearthstone. So I don't think it's like a good solution to go just qualify only. But like the main tournaments, like the World Championship, is like a qualifier, a huge qualifier with no invite. So where it matters,
Yep.
there should be qualifiers. So.
I guess it also matters on point of view, because those who actually manage to get through by a qualifier and make a name for themselves, I guess they would disagree with you.
Yeah.
But then again, we know also, like, I mean, esport is not, it's not just about, I know, the good names, also about pleasing the viewers, and obviously everybody has their followers, so the viewers going to be disappointed. There's going to be a tournament, nobody's invited, they might end up not seeing any of their stars they might follow on Twitch. So I guess it's a point of view thing. But
yeah, that's the problem with Hearthstone, though. Like the best player will not always win.
yeah.
And that's a big problem compared to the other esports. And how do you balance that out in like in tournaments? Yeah.
Well, so far we haven't found a solution, but I guess it's a good test. So we have different formats, and I guess at the end of this year we're gonna look back and we're gonna be a lot smarter based on that. Talking about your team, Tempus Storm is now the Hearthstone division, at least, a lot smaller. Does it somehow influence your performance, or you're just as fit for anything to come?
Yeah, it is weird because I like to at least have like 1 or 2 very close practice partners, and like we are 3 Hearthstone players, including Reynard, and Reynard is so busy. Like he's like he owns the team, so he's too busy to actually practice and prepare for events. So it's actually just 2 players, me and Hyped. And Hyped is from America, so we have completely different time zones and sleeping schedules. So I never actually practice with him. So I feel like I'm alone. So and it's more and more new players are becoming like very good at the game. So you have to like prepare more and practice more, and so like having a team what you practice with is like more and more important. So I think it kind of affects me a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, and that being said, that it might affect you, what's the reason that Tempo Storm is making a step towards CounterStrike and even Heroes of the Storm, but after Wise Guy and Magic Army left, why isn't there someone replacing them?
Reinhardt always wanted to expand into other genres. Like he didn't want it to be Tempo Storm, just like a Hearthstone team from the beginning. So it's just a step like he took, which is like normal. The reason why he didn't invite like a new Hearthstone players, he just most of the good players are already taken. They're already in good teams, and it's very difficult to find a new player that he like is very good and yeah, that is like available right now. It's just that he didn't found someone yet.
Okay, being alone now in Tempo on the Hearthstone section doesn't stop you from going somewhere, specifically China for the NEL. So share with us, with me, the viewers, like your experience there, like the meta, the mindset of the players, like how is it different, for example, here to our DreamHack venue?
I think China is amazing. Like it was my second time in China, and like the culture and everything. But about the games, I think the Chinese players are like super tryharding. Like they invest so much time. They have like so many people scouting every player, all tournaments, what he played and stuff. And the people from Europe and America, they're more leaned back. Like they don't care so much. Yes, we do our preparations, but we stream and we're like casual. We enjoy the events. But when you talk to the Chinese players and when you hang out with them, you really see that they're like only there for the games and to win and be successful in the games. They don't care so much about everything else.
And do you think, I mean, let's just say the Chinese are always like this in every esport. Their mindset is very competitive, very professional. Like we even know it from the real sports, if I want to say it like this. Do you think we should take something into the West from that mindset, or we are fine with, especially the casual level Hearthstone is played on at the moment?
Yeah, definitely, but it also depends on where you want to go, like in your career. Do you want to become like a big entertaining streamer, you know, make like money like that, or do you want to be like a winning tournament player? And if you want to be a winning tournament player, you have to cut on like, you have to hide like deck lists and stuff because you will get scouted and stuff like that. So you have to adopt that. I think that the Chinese scene is still very underrated. Like a lot of pros, I talk to them, they're really underrating the Chinese players. But we've seen like in WCA that 2 Chinese players went to the finals, even though so many Western people got invited. In BlizzCon, in the World Championship, a Chinese player got into the finals. And in the Wire Games, where there were also like multiple invites and open qualifiers, again 2 Chinese players got into the finals. So I think that Western people should more watch out the Chinese players. But it is also very difficult to scout the Chinese players because of the how this platforms. It's very difficult. Everything's in Chinese.
I mean, not everybody can, in the West can actually watch, for example, Do TV or Hao Mao, etc. It's a lot harder to actually get there.
Yeah, it's the top Chinese players are very unknown. Like most of the time, you don't even know how to Google their names or how to pronounce them. It's crazy. Yeah.
So that pretty much being on the horizon, that like the scouting or like the espionage is better from the East to the West, and the West is lacking that as an ambition, or we just talked about platforms or accessibility. You think this means we have a Eastern time coming, an Eastern area, the next championships, any tournament that is with Chinese players, they have an advantage?
I'm pretty sure. Also, a big factor is how much the Chinese government is supporting Hearthstone. It's crazy. They're putting so much money into it. You have like the biggest prize pools in China besides BlizzCon, and you have like all those teams like VG and all those famous also like Dota teams that are sponsoring Hearthstone players, and they're like really like, so they have also like the resources, the players, that they can full-time play Hearthstone. This is pretty new. There's like also like a lot of problems right now in China with the win trading. Like win trading is really popular in China. Like top 100 legend players are all win traders, and I don't know how Blizzard is gonna manage that.
I don't think you can, at least not in the current system.
Yeah, so, but I'm pretty sure Chinese players will be very dominant. You see them also in open qualifiers, in like US tournaments. The more Chinese players create accounts on US servers to play there in the tournaments, and they're very successful. So I'm pretty sure like more and more Chinese players will like step up in the scene.
I guess it's a good thing. It's spreading Hearthstone. It's making it also strong in not just in China. I mean, China also has repercussions on Southeast Asia, etc. So I guess for the esport, it's a good thing, but then again, maybe the West is kind of fearing an invasion there. But let's skip the Chinese topic because we're gonna see this in the future. Talking a bit about the game, the state of the game, the expansions come, the patches. Just fill me in there. Me, for example, as a Hearthstone noob, how did the former expansion feel? Now Blackrock Mountain is coming. Do we see any crazy impact players that have been famous dropping because they don't feel comfortable there? Or personally about you, how do you feel in the new expansion?
I think Blizzard is going a really nice direction with this expansion, especially because in the last two expansions they implemented high RNG cards, like high variants that can auto-lose you, auto-win you games depending on solely on RNG. Like, there were cards like Dr. Boom. It's like the most feared card and hated card in Hearthstone right now. It spawns boom bots that do random damage to a random target. Yeah, random damage to a random target, and it can clear the opponent's board or like do an insane amount of burst damage. It's just random, right? And there's no answer to that card. And with this expansion, they didn't implement any RNG cards, and this is like from a pro perspective very good because you want to build your decks like with skill. You want to make a solid deck and like outplay your opponent. This is where you want to go from like a pro perspective, not play those RNG cards have 50% chance like to get a good outcome and win the game because of that. It's like very stupid. So I really like where they go with this expansion compared to the other expansions. I can really like only hope that they will continue with this route.
So you also think that is pretty much silencing all the people that say like, Hearthstone, that's just RNG.
Yeah.
I mean, we both know it's not just RNG. RNG is a factor in the game. This is undeniable, at least for me. Especially with the last expansion, you just explained Dr. Boom, which is also the horror to every casual player. Everybody who just plays the game and sees a Dr. Boom is like, okay.
You can also compare it to poker. I would compare Hearthstone to poker. Like short-term poker can be a high RNG game, right? You can win with 2-7 against aces, right? But if you play like millions of hands, long-term you will always win with aces against 2-7. That's why you see like the established pros being always consistent, also like in tournaments in long-term. But short-term, it can be like RNG can be a big factor.
So in the end, it comes down to you have to prepare. This you also emphasize the scouting is very important. The deck protection. I actually made a really bad experience of this. Like I had to host a Hearthstone event, and then everybody was so protective, even though we wanted to get it on stream. But of course, this is a big problem. Like many tournaments are staggered; they come 1 week after another, and like the player is putting priority on, of course, the biggest tournament, may it be by venue, by prize pool, whatsoever. And it's kind of a problem for the smaller tournaments, and also because everybody's just protecting it. You can't get it on stream, which is, in the end, also something that pays the industry. But I guess you can't go around this.
Yeah, you can try. Like, but the thing is that for some players it's very important, for example, to win, as you said. For them, they're like super trying. They don't want to give any information to anyone, and there's actually a big disadvantage also with the streaming. Like the players were playing off stream, like from the group stages, no player has information from them, and that's why you see like so many people from group stages actually advancing, because the invites or the other people that were on stream, they have absolutely no information of their decks. So yeah, I'm very curious how this will like go on in the future.
Yeah. I think we're all curious about. I mean, we talked about many things that will go on in the future now, and I think this is the best point to wrap it up, because alone in a month we're going to be a lot smarter, both of us. And I want to say thank you, of course, all for watching. This was Gaara here on the DreamHack Bucharest. Shout outs, mom, dad, sponsors, team.
Shout out to all sponsors, G2A, Namecheap, Twitch, and yeah, to all the fans of Hearthstone and of me, of course.
And also shout out to the viewers, obviously. I hope you...
GosuGamers.
And to GosuGamers, yes, of course. Engage in a discussion about what we talked here, because it's very interesting. We're going to see what's happening in the future. Heflamoke, out.